So I really like watching YouTube videos, particularly about pensions. And I think pretty much everything I've learned over the last 9 months or so about pensions and how I invest in my SIP has come from YouTube videos. There's some of my favourites out there. Ben Felix does a really good YouTube channel. The Plain Bagel, excellent. But probably my favourite is Romin, who runs PensionCraft. Some fantastic advice on there. What I do find generally, though, in the wider YouTube market is the one thing that sometimes channels do miss or make a mistake on, and that's really to do with their age. So, if I look across maybe probably there's 30 different YouTubers I watch on a regular basis about pensions, and I would guess that their average age is probably about 35. Now, I'm 55 in 3 weeks' time, and at that point, we'll need to make a decision whether I'm going to start drawing some of my pensions or stay on at work. But when you're 35, I don't think you quite appreciate in the same way how your lifestyle changes really, or how your appetite for things change as you get a bit older. I mean, I'm by no means old at 55, but I do listen to some channels about retirement of people, in their 70s, 80s, and later in life even. And one of the things they consistently say is that health is by far more a motivator to them than wealth at that point. And actually, the idea of jumping on planes and traveling abroad and visiting lots of different city breaks, that kind of thing, once you get past 75, say, for example, for someone who's just not as attractive as it was when you were 35. I don't mean that they don't want to do that. I'm just saying that the benefit to them things, or the motivation to do them things, will drop as you get into your later years. So when working out on a pensions channel how much you should spend, how much you'll need, and how you'll draw down upon that pension throughout the rest of your life, I think people underestimate that. Once you get past 75, your numbers will drop a little bit. Oh, pink. Your requirements for income will not be the same as they were when you were 35, for example, and your view on life will change as well. So you'll hear many YouTubers talking about the 4% rule. Now, the 4% rule basically suggests that if you have a 30-year retirement, that you should draw down an equal 4% of your retirement pot each year. Although I don't really agree with the 4% rule, I wouldn't want to declare a number that I thought was better than 4%, because actually, I don't think it should be a fixed number. I think that number will vary over time. So it might start off higher, particularly if you're retiring, say, early at 55, where you'll be much more active and reduce towards the end of your life, maybe 80 plus, when you're not traveling as much or not doing them kind of things as much. The number is actually unique to every single person. If you have very little discretionary spend and you know your expenses are going to remain steady throughout the rest of your life, then percentage may make some kind of sense. But if you're expecting to have quite a lot of discretionary spend, say, for example, traveling or doing sports or undertaking a hobby, then you may think that that amount will reduce over time as you get older. You should have a plan, though. My plan is for the first 10 years of retirement to go for 8%. And this is because I know when I reach 67, I'll also get my state retirement. And I'll also start drawing on some of my defined benefit public sector pensions. So I expect to spend the money in my SIP probably mostly in the first 10 years after retirement. And then once the SIP is spent, I'll start claiming some of my other pensions, my state pension and my defined benefit pensions.